Welcome to the presentation on Central Bank Currency Intervention by PJ Finance Show.
Hi Joe, how are you?
I am tired. I am hungry. I am sleepy. I have been working 80 hours a week.
Wow, I was not expecting an answer like that. Anyway, you look fine. Question for you. Even though the US does not have a fixed exchange rate policy, it would intervene in the market if the US dollar were to be extremely strong, right?
Yes. As in the 1985 Plaza Accord, in which the US worked with France, West Germany, Japan, the United Kingdom, to depreciate the US dollar against the major currencies. This was because the extremely strong dollar was hurting US exports.
Why did the other countries agree to go along with this idea?
The likely consequence to not signing this agreement could be the US placing tariffs or trade restrictions on these countries.
And the lunch at the plaza was great.
The US could have weakened the dollar without the help of the major countries by selling a lot of dollars in the market, right? After all, it has unlimited supply of US dollars.
Correctamundo. The same goes for any country if they wish to weaken their own currency to prevent it from being too strong.
Yes, in theory, but in practice?
As Albert Einstein once said, in theory, theory and practice are the same. In practice, they are not. In practice, if a country, say, India, were to prevent the rupee from being too strong, the Reserve Bank of India would have to sell rupee in the market. Doing so will increase the rupee money supply.
And the larger money supply could lead to an inflationary problem. In trying to help the Indian exporters, the Reserve Bank of India could end up with a broader problem for the entire economy.
Correctamundo.
And why would a country intervene if its currency is very weak? That would be good for their exporters, right?
That may be so, but let's say the Mexican peso is very weak. This means that for the same amount of goods it imports and invoices in the same amount of US dollars, it will have to pay more pesos. In local currency terms, it cost more to import oil from the Middle East, manufactured goods from China, etc. And if the importers were to pass the cost increase to the consumers, this would be imported inflation.
To prevent a high level of imported inflation through a serious depreciation of the peso, Banco de Mexico would have to buy peso and sell US dollars in the market.
When they mop up the pesos from the market, the peso money supply will shrink and interest rates are likely to go up. Higher interest rates will slow down the economy. Slowing down the economy could dampen inflation but could also lead to a recession.
To summarize, a country can face economic problems when its currency is extremely strong or extremely weak. Going back to the weak Mexican peso, when Banco de Mexico intervened to buy peso and sell US dollars. Surely, there is a limit to how much US dollar reserve the country has, and when that falls to a very low level, they would have to give up and let the peso falls.
Yes and no. This is true for most countries, but there are some exceptions. Some countries like South Korea, Mexico, Singapore, and Brazil have swap lines with the Federal Reserve in which these countries can borrow US dollars from the Fed.
Nice. This all makes sense now. Suddenly I feel hungry for some tacos.
Thanks for watching a presentation on Central Bank Currency Intervention by PJ Finance Show.